In a moment, we'll be speaking to the man who runs the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, the UFI grant. We're very happy to have him too. But before he joins us, she used to live a life of misery, pain and stigma due to a devastating childbirth injury known as obstetric fistula. Now, the condition made her leak urine, and that is the story of Abena Mayamewu, whose situation was featured in a recent JoyNews hotline documentary titled Twisted by Birth. But now, there's great news after the broadcast because Abena has undergone a successful surgery, and as Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark International Day to End Obstetric Fistula, JoyNews' Beryl Ernestina Richter travels back to Abena's village, Imuna, in the central region to find out how she's living her new life.
If it weren't for JoyNews, I would still have been in this helpless situation. Now I am free and healed.
That was Abena describing how hopeless her situation was a few months ago. Her story has changed now, and she feels like a real woman. This is the extent to which the terrible medical condition called obstetric fistula had stripped Abena of her self-esteem and dignity. In April 2018, when we visited, the pain and shame inflicted on her as a result of leaking urine made her harbor suicidal thoughts.
I have suffered a lot due to this condition. I don't like to drink water. In fact, I feel restless. Sometimes I wish I was dead so that the suffering can end.
I am back here again at Imuna to meet Abena. This time around, Abena is elated. She's beaming with smiles as she welcomes me. This is because her days of anguish, despair and hopelessness are over. Abena is optimistic about the future now because she has successfully undergone surgery at the Catholic Women's Hospital in Mankasim.
My situation is better now. In fact, God has been good to me. Thanks to JoyNews too.
Dr. Gabriel Ganyaglo is an obstetrician gynecologist and a trained fistula surgeon at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. He was part of the medical team that operated on Abena. According to him, Abena benefited from the 100 in 100 initiative launched as part of the commemoration of the International Day to End Obstetric Fistula in 2018 by the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA and its partners.
Very interesting to note that they had to take your documentary for us to see that they were there. Access Bank paid for all the surgeries for that cohort of fistula patients. And indeed, they have an arrangement with the Mercy Women's Catholic Hospital in Mankasim, where they have pledged to pay for 100 fistula repairs. So Abena benefited from that package.
Life beyond repair can have intense emotional, social and economic impact on women and their families. Abena tells me how she now depends on the support of family to survive after her successful surgery.
I just called a friend for a 20 Ghana cedi loan, but that is yet to hit my mobile account. That is yet to hit my mobile money account.
Unlike Abena, who is fortunate to have benefited from free surgery facilitated by UNFPA, Access Bank and the Catholic Women's Hospital, Grace Esieku hasn't. She is still living with a dehumanizing condition called fistula. This is Grace telling me her story last year when I visited.
I feel sad whenever I'm about to eat. This is because of the pains I will have to endure whenever I attend to nature's call. Sometimes I have to beg in order to eat. My mother has run out of money due to my condition.
According to Dr. Ganyaglo, Grace's case is complex and it is one that requires different specialists.
Injury sometimes is such that it's impossible to do it in one step, and you may have to do what we call a multi-stage repair. So you do one phase, you wait for it to heal, then you go back and do some other procedures to improve on what you did before. Occasionally, they can't just have a normal urinary system like we all do. And the surgery can be very involving. Often we have to involve other disciplines, especially the urologist. We operate on fistula as gynecologists trained to do fistula work. So occasionally you may have to involve the urologist or even the general surgeon. And all 2 or 3 may have to converge on one patient to operate on them to do a diversion. Few diversions are simple to perform, but some are very complex, and so Grace falls in that category.
Despite her situation, Grace is hoping against all odds for that miracle of a surgery so she can also live a dignified life like Abna.
Currently, all I think of is my surgery. I am appealing for financial assistance so that I can undergo it.
A successful surgery does not mark the end of the woes to fistula survivors. A lot more is required to alleviate or make life worth living for them.
It's very frustrating for patients when after fistula repair, you're still stigmatized for having fistula. I mean, this is most unfair, but it will take a lot of community education to get the mindset to change that when you have fistula, you can get cured, and once you're cured, you no longer have fistula, and you are like every normal person. It's a very complex medical scenario. The best solution would be to prevent it, but once it happens, the cost elements are in different areas, and government cannot do it alone. So we need others to come on board.
And for the hundreds or perhaps thousands of women still living with the condition in Ghana, only time will tell if they will also be fortunate like Abna to undergo free repairs in order to live dignified lives. Beryl and Estina Richter's report for Joy News.
Right, that's wonderful news. So much to celebrate there, and of course, a new life is now possible for Abna.